Namaskar. It's always a pleasure to be in OGTC, and I really thank Kesaji and the entire OGTC team for inviting me, and a pleasant good morning to all of you. There are two disclaimers. One is speaking after Charles is very intimidating, and thank you for telling us the next frontier where we have to reach. And I have two slides from my last presentation, that's all. The rest of them are new. So it is old wine in new bottle. And myself, I didn't do the presentation with Charles, but you will see we are going to speak exactly the same thing. He gave a Bangladeshi example, I'm going to give the Madura example. So I start off. This is our lineage, for the benefit of all who don't know this company. Madura Clothing belongs to the Aditya Birla Group. So this is the first slide, which is getting repeated. We belong to Madura Fashion and Lifestyle with a manufacturing arm. We have 6 factories. So this is the hardware. We are the largest domestic apparel manufacturer. Domestic, I have to underline because I am in very, very foreign territory here. Most of the factories are in Bangalore, 4,500 employees, predominantly women. So this is our hardware. And sorry. Before I start, as our tradition, I will have to play a prayer. Now, what has this prayer done to this audience? A prayer is a big equalizer. We have owners, we have employees, we have students, all of us sitting here. And for 1 minute, we all become human beings. We all become similar. We suddenly forgot the differences which we have. And for manufacturing excellence, why does a prayer become very important? Because we start in Madura everything with a prayer. 4,500 employees, we start early morning. I'm a non-believer, but I do pray with them. And it is all about culture. Excellence will not come without culture. Whatever can be your culture. And that is where the first building block of excellence for Madura, it is top management will. It can be abusive, it can be aggressive, it can be tacit, it can be anything. But you decide the limitations, you decide the boundary as the owners and top management of whatever excellence which you are going to pursue. And this is the fundamental base from which any excellence journey can start. You are the constraint as top managers. You constrain your organization or you make them aspire to dream. And this is the fundamental block in which anything can be built. Without top management will, without your culture, without your value system, without you defining what you are in a single piece of paper, you will not be able to even start the journey of excellence. So the first building block for us is top management will, the culture and leadership for the organization. It can be defined in different ways. How the leaders act, how they are role models, how as an owner, what role model you are giving to your employees. There are 500, 600, thousands of them who are looking at you for certain images. It consists of the culture of your organization, the value of ethics, the guiding principles of your organization. Without this, let's not even think about excellence. If you define this Then you start the journey of excellence, and that's what we have done. And then, all with Charles, the strategic planning. What do you want your organization to become? Do you want to buy that farmhouse just outside Delhi? Do you want to have all those real estates for you? Are you building the business for your son? Are you building the business for your grandson? It depends on what you think about the future. And then you will define the journey which you will take. And that is why it is very important that when you plan, it is the organization's approach to prepare for the future. Now, we will come to Madura. This is our vision: to be the global benchmark for apparel industry in manufacturing and innovation, providing competitive advantage to stakeholders. Our mission, our efficiencies, we are looking at 75% efficiencies. We want to hit EBITDA of 15% by 2016. What are our differentiators? Very short turnarounds. I have lines which can do order deliveries in 16 hours from PO to delivery in shirts. Superior product quality. We excel in doing small order quantities. Product development with customers, and we are an organization of doers and go-getters. The top management will actually comes through in our organization, and we set our boundaries much far. What are the strategic objectives? The third piece of Charles' triangle: maintaining leadership in domestic apparel manufacturing. We are very focused on domestic. To be the most preferred vendor for leading premium brands, flexible and responsive rather than going for cost efficiencies. In the early morning session, there was this two ways of looking at how to run business. We look at businesses to be very profitable, at the same time to actually harness on our flexibility and responsiveness. We have made speed and response to market as our central theme for excellence in the journey of excellence, because we are a domestic brand. Stocks mean loss of value and loss of money for us. And finally, to build a team of very talented and engaged workforce. What are our guiding principles? People, people, and people. Employee empowerment, talent management comes right up in the hierarchy of things for us. Customer delight, enablers. We have a WCM, which is the world-class manufacturing model, which we follow. The process orientation, we have tried to make it as close as lean. It has been a journey. It has been 3 years since we have been doing it. We are discovering frontiers. We are discovering new areas. We just got another threshold from Charles' presentation. Six Sigma, there are 6 black belts and almost 50 plus green belts in our system. We try to explore new business models. What has been the Madura story for the last 6 years? There was a phase 1 where we got fit. We integrated all our factories. We brought it down in a common governance system. And we had a lot of cost rationalization. We expanded our capacities. In 2012, we went for lean orientation. We went for the business excellence model, and we are now looking at new business model itself being developed to become a real powerhouse inside India. And for FY13 onwards, we are really looking to build a resilient organization. So the next 2-3 years after 2012, once we finalize on our business model, we will have to build an organization which can stand the test of times. We had a bund yesterday. We saw the avalanche of FDI coming in. We know where the competition is now going to come from. We are ready for the international market. So we know that we will have to build an organization we can stand up to the test of time. The second block of us is, I'm straight away going to the KPI presentation of Charles, is virtually taking off from there. Measurement systems. Measurement systems are the results, and KPIs and KRIs are the results of very, very robust institutionalized processes. The processes can be different. From where he started, business results. We all do business to make money. Make money in different forms. Make money, cash flows, investments, return of investments. But we also measure certain other things. We measure key performance indicators like quality, cost, productivity, and a host of other things. At the same time, we also measure customer satisfaction, whether Louis Philippe is happy with us, whether Van Heusen is happy with us. We have separate mechanism by which we measure this customer satisfaction. I would really request that if you're working with export labels, export brands, that rather than they giving you a feedback on how happy they are, you should actually send them a questionnaire and ask them how they feel about you. We have people satisfaction measures, which I will be touching upon. We do employee satisfaction surveys for the entire workforce, and we also have societal satisfaction indicators. Now, how does these measures come? What is the customer's expectation? The customer has an expectation of very fast turnarounds. How do you address that? The process by which we address it. So that is the way the presentation is flowing. We look into a modular system. We look at automatic replenishment systems. What does it bring into the customer? What is the KPI by which I address it? And where is Madura now? That is MC. The throughput times is the KPI which I address the customer expectation of short turnarounds. So if you go down the line, you can see small order sizes, higher OTIFs. You can see Madura's prominence in speed and responsiveness, which I'm saying as the key theme for our organization's entire configuration. You can see the customer expectations very clearly on the left-hand side and how we are addressing it through different processes, different KPIs, and where we are right now in our system. So you can see OTIFs of 95%, and our order sizes right now in Van Heusen Louis Philippe domestic market is 175 pieces average in a design. So that is where we operate. We have 192 parameters which we define. Some of them I don't also know. But how does it cascade? Because there is an MSFL strategy map, which is the strategy of Madura Fashion and Lifestyle, which is the brand company, from which we define our objectives. And then head of manufacturing, which is me, I have certain KPIs, and it actually comes down all the way to my workforce. And it goes in a hierarchy. Until the function heads, we follow balanced scorecard, which has profitability, process, customer orientation, learning and development. These are the 4 things. And then in the lower workforce, from supervisors onwards, we have QCDIP parameters, which is the normal quality, cost, performance, productivity parameters. Coming to the business measurement system, these are some of the business result indicator measurements. You can see that there is 37 of them. Some of them I really don't know what exactly it means, because it is a complete finance territory. But there are certain KPIs which, as head of manufacturing, I chase. OTIF is very close to me. Throughput times are very close to me. EVAs are very close. Operating profits, Kaizen indexes. So you can also see some of the productivity parameters. Now I am told that some of them are actually becoming redundant. But still we do have. But these KPIs, which it is coming on the screen, operates at different levels. Some of them are supervisory KPIs, some of them are general manager KPIs, some of them are head of manufacturing KPIs. So an organization decides at which level it has to see the KPIs or KRAs. And coming to the last part, Madura oversees all its processes through 13 different domains. These are the domains: work environment, basically the 5S initiative goes in there. EHS, self-maintenance, plant maintenance, and all these things. Now the next disclaimer, I have certain boring parts in my presentation, please see through me. I will take 2 of them, basically quality management. So I'll get into quality management. How do we define quality? The scope of quality management is the systems which is existing right now. What kind of culture, because culture is a huge part in actually driving quality, sustaining quality, bringing continuous improvements, and how do you get about the process of improving this quality. Okay, right. Here's a slight detour. Quality indicators of Madura and where we stand. So if you see that you have from recut percentages to red flags to internal audits to process loss to COQs. Now if you can see that who is the person who is overlooking this. Now if you see right down, the cost of quality is the only parameter which I look at. The rest of the parameters are all distributed across the hierarchy. And you can see the parameters in which the measures right now Madura is working with. We have all those numbers which you see, like recut percentages of 1%, seconds of 0.29%, so seconds of 1%. This is what the Madura performance indicators right now are. This gives us a certain level of indication where we have to move. Now, going through the production floor, we are tracking the processes, fabric and stores, CAD and CAD sections. So we get into different areas. The processes are mapped. These are the different things which we actually follow in quality. Cutting sections, everywhere. You can see the MIS is actually coming. You have RFTs, you have CTQs. We have just introduced SPC into the system because as you evolve, you suddenly see that certain parameters which you are using, becomes redundant and you will have to go to much more refined parameters. And I always call any parameter or any measurement the kundali of a company. Because if you look at the measurements a company is using, you can see at what stage or what maturity that company is operating. So you ask them to give you what are things you measure, they will straight away give you where they are and what is actually expected of the company's performance. It's very, very easy to find out at what level of maturity your organization is just by looking at the measures. Finishing packing. So what is coming as quality management process design is there is a structured quality organization. There are defined KPI and KRS for each position in the organization. There is a process loss framework. I will come to that. Customized SPCs, very customized, very focused on your CTQ or CTPs. Then you have a daily MIS and a weekly MIS because the review system is extremely important. PIPs, every year we look at our reports and see whether there is a redundancy, whether you need these reports. So this is what process improvement processes, which we do. System adherences. How do you know your process is existing inside? You have put a consultant or you have put some designs, you have brought in somebody, you made certain processes in the system. How do you know that it is still existing after 1 year? What all things have gone away with the people who have left you? We have a certain system by which we do process adherence testing. You can see we are pretty low. 70% of adherence is what we are having. Process loss is again composite loss of the entire fabric for delivering an order. This includes all the fabric you have lost. And we define excellent as 2% loss against your marker length. That is the Madura standard for excellence. Marker length plus 2% is excellence. Marker length plus 3% is good. Marker length plus 3 to 5% is average, and marker length above 5% is extremely bad. So you can see how we are operating. We are operating 59% at excellence level. You can, we almost do 400 to 500 work orders in a single factory. 16%, so we have almost a 75% rate of marker length plus 3% down. And this is something we have been constantly working upon. Again, COQs. We identified all the all the processes in our organization, and we identified 100 activities as related to quality. Now, from the 100 activities we identified for production manufacturing, 59 of them had relations with quality. In that, 21 and 27 are related to cost of good quality, preventive and appraisal. 9 and 2, that is 11 for the failure cost. Then we found how Madura fares here. And we found out that our appraisal cost and our preventive cost is almost 75%. So we again found out that is a structural problem because we have indicated. This is the final working. This is of one plant which has a running cost, total factory cost of 2.4 crores, 2.14 crores. We have identified 42 lakhs as the total amount which we spent on quality. So we have come out with the number of 20%. This is the June month. Our cost of quality for this factory right now is at 20%. We don't have comparative numbers. Maybe I can check with Charles whether this is a good number, bad number. So this is where we are. And now I can go back. With your permission, I will have to go back to my second video. So.
ಹೊಸದನೆ ಬೆಳೆಸುವ ಅನುದಿನ ಅನುಭವ ಮಧುರ ಮಧುರ ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದೆನಿಸುವ ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣಿಸುವ ಯಂತ್ರ ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮೀರಿಸೋ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹುರುಪಿನ ಕಾಯಕ ನಮ್ಮಯ ಸೂತ್ರ ಬಾಳಿನ ಹಾಡೆ ಮಧುರ ಮಧುರ ತನನನ 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 ತನದಿರ ತನನನ ತನದಿರ ತನುಮನ 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 ತನುದಿರ ತನುಮನ 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 ತನುಮನವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಧುರ 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 ಮಧುರ
Well, I'm not finished yet. That's for the video, thanks. And those smiles are real, I can tell you that. People management, the next process which I would touch upon. Sorry, it's gone back. We take all our employees as our assets. And all of them who have acted are real in the movie, in the song. Okay, this is the next detour. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. We have come out with enormous amount of people engagement activities. The first piece is that we do an employee satisfaction survey. 4,500 employees. It is like a democratic election every year we conduct. It's a day which they speak 3 different languages, Tamil, Telugu and Kannada. So there is this questionnaire which is given to them, they will have to do, and they will have to commit and put it in a ballot. And 4,500 votes we count every year to get their feedbacks whether we are serving them well. So that has been a practice. We are going for our 3rd employee satisfaction survey. And based on those surveys, we have conducted a lot of events for them, a lot of initiatives. Sangama is one. The vision has to be going to every single employee. So we do Sangama as an event where the vision is shared. The consumers come, the people who is wearing Louis Philippe come to the factory and tell them why for the 10 years they are wearing a Louis Philippe garment. So Sangama is an event like that. Milana is the annual meeting where we actually celebrate people who have worked with us for 10 years, 5 years. We give them awards, we give them rewards for being with us. Then we have employee speak, which actually give them access, is an open door. It gives them access, all the employees, if whatever grievances they have, they are called in groups, and I have a discussion every 6 months. So every 6 months it closes. So we take down the grievances, we try to close it every 6 months. And the next employee speak happens like that. Then we have Namadina, which we call as, it is in Kannada says, our day, where we can afford to stop our factory for a day, which most of you will completely not be acceptable for all of you. We close and we play. We play a full day. We make teams, because the entire team structure, and each of the teams, there are hundreds of teams inside the factory, and it's like a carnival. They are forced to play a game. So they have to play almost 28 games in a single day. So this games, small games, 2-minute game, 3-minute games, they will have to come and play. So we do that. We have an Olympics where all the factories come to each other. They first compete within themselves and make teams, and then the factory teams come and compete with each other. It's a mega event, and it is held completely outside. Also, we do have family visits. We invite employee families to the factory. They need to see where their daughters, where their wives are working. We take them to the workplace where they're working. The factory managers give them a speech, and then they show it. Express yourself is once in 15 days. There's an open door policy for all the GMs. They will have to sit and hear to them. And we celebrate every success. We have to serve food to our employees. I do that. You can see me there, because it's Aditi Devo Bhava, and it has a very different meaning when you serve it from your own hands. Kaizen Mela, 2010 we had done it. It's a 2-year affair. It was all the Kaizens. We have a huge Kaizen movement. We have the Aditya Birla Group's benchmark in Kaizens. We have a Kaizen index of 8, which means every employee multiplied by 8 is the total Kaizens which we generate in a year. So the best of Kaizens are actually put on exhibition, and all are welcome to come and have a look at it. We had it in 2010. We are planning the second one in 2012. Then you have all the different kind of celebrations which we have. You can see Shakuntala virtually walking up the ramp there on the second photo. She's and Miss Alpha is it's in one factory. Miss, we have Miss competitions because we have a lot of misses. Another thing which we very actively do is we take our employees to our different companies. We take our employees. We have flown our workers to Jodhpur, where our Birla White factory is there, the cement plants. So we take a lot of inspiration from cement plants, steel plants, where a lot of very mature manufacturing models and manufacturing excellence happens. So you can see we have taken people to Brandex, Mass Holdings, a lot of Infosys, Rane Group, where they have got the Deming Awards. Different types of, we do microfinancing for most of our employees. We give loans up to 10,000 rupees without any interest. Because it basically saves them from that village blade company which is running, which is asking for huge amount of interest from these poor ladies. So we give interest-free loans to them. So there's a huge amount of people engagement. There is almost 20 to 25 lakhs of outstanding loan against my workers. And to be very honest, they have never defaulted. They have never defaulted. I don't have one single rupee bad debt on that account in the last 10 years. This is another thing which probably apparel companies in India, this I wanted to take up because we do a lot of health camps. That is where our societal satisfaction indicators come from. Cardiac checkups, blood donation camps, it's all done. We have a trust which is formed in our name. We support all the rural villages, rural schools, in and around the villages. We give them infrastructure support. Virtually all the villages are given uniforms by us. And cataract operations, a lot of CSR activities which we do. Lot of collaborations. So people engagement, people management, we extend it up to the society also. And that is how we probably put a lot of processes. There are a lot of processes behind people management by which what you're seeing is actually the results and probably a few photographs of what we have done. But this go through a very structured performance management system, which is defined at from worker level right the way up to me and beyond me. Now, I'm coming to the concluding slides. For Madura, the manufacturing excellence model works out something like this. We have enablers, extremely strong top management will, which gives certain results based on 13 domains of processes. And this is our manufacturing model, something very close to what Charles has said, but Charles has gone very deep into the KPIs and the parameters and the cost model. But this is our manufacturing model. I took quality management and people management as two areas. Each of these 13 domains have different processes which is behind it. Now, how do we monitor this? We have certain results which we want to achieve. We develop certain plans and we have approaches. We conceptually think about what has to be done. We deploy it in our different processes, and then we have an assessment and review system, which is looked upon again and again at different levels. This is the assessment and review system. Very similar, you have to actually look at this system. Results, there is data which is generating from all your factories. There's different data which is coming from different departments. How Madura does is, they compile at factory level, and there's a factory level MIS. Then it gets into a central because we have multiple factories. There is a data compilation which happens at Madura clothing level. And then there is a central MIS where is the result dashboard, 192 KPIs, which gets going to the dashboard. You can select what you want depending on which level you are. Monthly results are sent to the CEO's office. This is the review system which I follow, 1 hour reviews. And then this is the most critical part because most of the organizations will have operational reviews and they sometimes lag on process reviews. So we have two different mechanisms to arrange. So you have an operational parameter, you have a KPI, you have a KRA, you have an OTIF number, you have an efficiency number, you review at the operations level with your factory managers, your departmental heads, that is completely operational. But on below, you can see there's a steering committee which is formed across the management, which looks at processes alone. So we have process reviews separately, it's also powered by a very high-powered management team. And those action plans, whatever happens on operations parameters as well as process parameters, goes back to the results. This is how, and I have to show you this because this has been the most defining moment for Madurai in the last 5 years, Mr. Kumaramangalam Birla's visit to us. Why is it so great? Here is a man, 45 billion empire, who is into steel, who is into cement, who is into everything which you can imagine, taking over global companies. Novelis, you talk about the continents, he is there, 38 countries, we have our presence. And such a man of such huge stature, coming to our garment factory and understanding how a garment is made. There is a lady who is there on the top corner, speaking in fluent Kannada to him. He doesn't understand a word of Kannada. And look at his expressions, the way he is looking at it. There were two learnings which we had from this. One, again going back to the top management leadership, the management will, the humility of a person of such a great stature has completely overwhelmed us. And he understood the process. He spent 4 hours in that factory understanding how cutting is done, what is the difference between automatic cutting and manual cutting, what is a single needle machine, what is the RPM. He had 400 and 500 questions which he bombarded against all of us, and he has told us to dream. And he has told us to dream very big. So, you know, the aspirations and the top management will, I think that is what it is all about, and it has been a defining moment for us, and probably it might be a defining moment for the domestic apparel industry too. That is the kind of interest which he has taken, and that is what Madura's perspective on excellence model is, and that is the top management bill for us. Thanks a lot.